everybody, we're back for another video. Today's video is going to be a little bit of a tutorial, and what you're going to need is some paper to write on, a pencil of some sort, maybe a ballpoint pen or like a micron or something like that. I've got colored pencils here. This is just the basic 24 set from I think I got these actually at Target like 2 or 3 years ago. I haven't used them that much, and I thought since I was swatching all of my stuff that I would actually do something with them. And maybe even I've got a pencil sharpener in case any of the pencils are dull, and a stencil if you have it, like a stencil that has like circles, or the one that I want to use is in here. It has circles, squares, and triangles. And I've got a finished product in here, and I'm going to do it. One of the first things in my new little notebook. So let me get a few items out of here. This is the stencil I'm going to use. I guess it also has, what is it, hexagon? Or, yeah. So it's got circles, hexagons, squares, and triangles. Here's the pencil I'm going to use. I'll have an eraser just in case. I think that's all I need in here, so we will get that out of the way. Colored pencils, and you're probably wondering, what are we going to draw? A few years ago, Mindy Lacefield did a cute little bird. Now hers are much more adorable than mine, and I wanted to break the bird down into like simple geometric shapes. She does so much with layering and colors and texture that I don't really do, because I don't do acrylics and some of the other supplies that she uses. But I wanted to create a little bird based on hers. Excuse me. Sorry, I've had some sinus issues the last couple of days. I wanted to use, a simple stencil that has like those basic shapes to show that you don't need, to be a fabulous artist to create something really stinking adorable. So this is her design, but like my take on it, and it kind of reminds me of the little bird toy, the duck toy from The Nightmare Before Christmas, because that was like perfect circles and squares and stuff like that. So what we're gonna do, and like you can see, I've got larger sized circles and smaller circles, and like here's another stencil that's got a variety of sizes of circles. But what I'm gonna do is get out my cute little passport. Here it is. And I always leave the first couple of pages blank because I'm not sure what I want to put up there. So we're gonna take this here. We'll set this aside. What we're gonna do is kind of hold that page down. So I'm probably gonna want to use the largest of the circles first. And I'm gonna get a pen out, and let me get a fine liner out too. And of course, Lila has to show up, because it wouldn't be a journal planning session without her up here. The only problem is there's no room for her, and she's going to knock a lot of stuff off the table. I think she thinks no matter what time of day I'm sitting here doing something, she has to be here, and I don't know where that's come from. She's gotten really, really, really needy the last few days, and I don't know what that's about. Again, here she jumps up, and there's no room. Lila, there is no room, baby. Baby, I love you, but I need this space. This is the only space I have to do this. And there's thousands of spaces. You could go lay on the counter. I don't care. Daddy's not home. You can go lay on the counter. So I'm going to use the largest circle. And, I mean, you can put it anywhere on the page. And I'm just drawing a circle. And then, so this is going to be the head. And since we're kind of making a kind of a Mary Blair-ish inspired thing, a lot of her creatures and characters tend to have larger size heads when they're like babies. And it doesn't really... We'll make this one the body. There we go. And we're just going to draw two little legs. Now, what you can do in order to get like a wing is you can just take another circle and only draw a portion of it, and that shows the wing. Now, we're going to want to put a little beak on this little guy, and let's do it so he's looking up at the sky, like there's something in the sky that he sees. And we'll just kind of do that. There we go, there's a little beak. Now we're going to want to do an eye, and let's do, oh, that might be too big. Let's do this for an eye. And since he's looking up, why don't we kind of put it right here? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to create like a little bit of a... I didn't even check to see if I'm in the center. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. We're going to create like a little crescent underneath it. Not like there's a bag under his eye, but yeah, like there's a bag under his eye. And then we're going to want to use a tiny hole, and this will kind of be his pupil. There we go. So that's really all you need. And then if you want to do a tail for the little bird, let's see, this one looks cute. All you really need is just to put, or should we do that? Let's do this with a triangle. And then that's really all you need. And if you want to, you can, you know, put another V in there or a W so you have what looks like feathers. But we're going to do this very simple. Now, something you can do is you can decide to go over it right now in a, this is just an Arteza Inconic, what is it, fine liner, kind of like a Stadler Tri-Plus fine liner, except this one has, well, it's like triangle, but a rounded triangle, so not quite. So let's outline. And actually, you can do it one of two ways. You can use the exact same, was this the one we used? Yeah. You can use the exact same and I always wipe that out just because I don't want to smear. I think this is the one that we did for the body. I think this is the one we did for the wing. And at first I did this just to show you the, depending on what medium you want to use. This is a water base pen. So if you were to use like watercolor, this Inconic, it's going to run. So, you know, you might not want to do that. You might see my head, I'm sorry. This, I'm going to maybe make it a little bit lower. Since the, there we go. And this is a drawing paper, so it might bleed through, because these are very juicy pens. And what size triangle did I use? Was it this one? Or this one? Let's use this one, because I think it's... There we go. There's the two little lines. And I'm just going to freehand the little triangle. So there's our little guy. I sometimes line it before, just because it makes it easier. Sometimes you can line it afterwards, but depending on what you use, since we're using a wax-based pencil, it might not line so well. Like this one, I didn't line at all. That's just pencil and colored pencils. But the colors we're going to use are in here. And I'm just going to use blue because I'm thinking of, you know, like a little bluebird. So I'm going to go over his whole face, except his eye. This color is light cerulean blue. So whatever you have as a, you know, like if you have like Crayola, I think that like cornflower blue, is that what they call it? Do they still call it that? It kind of reminds me of that. But again, also take that with a grain of salt. I've got a slight color blindiness. So, you know, blues, greens, and some shades of red, depending on what blues they have in them, in greens. They can, for me, not read clear for a normal person. So we're going to put this down. Then we're going to go in with the True Blue. And I'm not going to put any of this right now on his belly, but I'm going to kind of like in the middle part of his body, just a thin layer, especially on the wing, and put some on the tail. Because if he's looking up at the sun, this will be lighter, and this might be a little darker. I don't know. You know, I'm not an artist, so I just do what I like and have fun doing it. So don't take anything I say as anything. And then we're going to take this indigo and put a lot of that on the tail and more towards the back. And just light layers, nothing. There we go. And then I actually want to put a little, this is violet. Just a little purple. Now, since we've got this tray up, let's just color in his beak a nice canary yellow. And while we're here, let's do his eye. This is just black or noir. We're just going to color in the pupil. And you can leave a little white spot if you want to or not. And we're going to color that. Okay, sorry, I can't see it. That little part underneath his eye. I probably didn't need to, but we did. He got a little bag under his eye. He's up early trying to get that worm. Isn't that what they say? The early bird gets the worm. Oop. And then I'm going to want to go in with, not orange, this one. This is Poppy Red. And I'm just going to want to put a little bit of this lightly on his belly. Just a little bit. And then the blue that we used was that light cerulean. Let's go over that again just to kind of help it blend. And there we have a cute little bird. And it really didn't take, that many tools. I used a circle stencil, a pencil, a Tri-Plus fine liner. I used 3 blues, cerulean, true blue, and indigo. I used violet, gold, a purple. Oh no, black, sorry. I used violet, and then I used black, and then I used the poppy for just a little punch of red. But if all you had, I think I've got another set of crayon pencils. If all you had was, say, like the 12 set, like here, with these, here, we've got another one. We have a little one over here that I drew a while ago. If all you have is, say, like a 12 set of colored pencils, which gives you black, brown, a tan, a green, a darker green, like a, what color do they call this? Phthalo blue. This is ultramarine, magenta, what is this? Scarlet red, or a deep scarlet red. It says cadmium orange, dark cadmium orange. And this looks like a cadmium yellow. I think yeah, cadmium yellow and white. You can create a very similar effect. So I'm not gonna go over this one in pen, but just want to make sure I'm in the, yeah, pretty good. So I'm gonna start with the, what color is this? Light ultramarine. So just like we did with the little guy before, we're gonna color the body this light ultramarine. Same thing with his back feathers, and see how I just did a W here in the triangle. And we're going to color his eyes, or not his eyes, but his head. And so we're just using this light ultramarine. I think that's what it is. Yeah, it's a really pretty color. These are I think these are an oil-based pencil. These are the Faber-Castell Polychromos. And they're a little bit more expensive of a pencil than the, this 12 set cost as much as the 24 set did. Actually, maybe a little bit more. I think I got these at a time when they were a little bit pricier. So we just colored him in with a little bit of the light ultramarine. Then we're going to use some of the phthalo blue, but again, leaving some space in his belly. See how that gives a little bit of depth? And again, I mean, it won't be 100% accurate to the other colors because we're using different colors, but I'm just showing that you can get shading effect, and I'm, you know, not the best, so just do what you want. What is, oh, I'm like, why am I getting a texture? Where's my writing board? I'm like, I'm getting a texture. That's right, this insert doesn't have a cover. There. Because I'm like, I'm getting a harsh angled line. So we're gonna go over this so I can smudge it out a bit. While we're thinking about it, let's do the yellow beak. And you can see the cadmium yellow is very similar to the canary yellow, just maybe a little bit deeper of a color. Now let's use this magenta. Just add a little shading with magenta. It's not a true purple, but it'll give a little bit of the effect that we're looking for, to give it some shade. And then I'm going to go over the little belly with, what did they call this? Deep scarlet red. Just a little. And then I'm going to get the light ultramarine out again. And again, you can use any colors you want. You want a green bird, you want a yellow bird, you want whatever color of bird. You got it, it's yours. And so I'm just trying to get out some of those harsh lines that I had because of the folder that's underneath. And then I'm just going to go in with the black for the pupil. And, sorry, you might see my head. I want to make sure I can see the little, kind of like a little shadow under his eye. And even if you wanted to, you could go under it with the darker blue to kind of Now, of course, these are different papers. This is a sketch paper, so it's much smoother than this paper. This is just a cheap drawing paper for graphite pencils. This is the Midori paper, you know, and then that's really all you need. If you wanted to add a little bit of that red to the underside of the face, you can see these might be a little bit more pigmented differently than the Primas or the Prismacolor Premiers. It's because, you know, them being an oil-based. If you had a blender pen from Tombow with the Faber-Castell Polychromos, you can actually get rid of all of those little brush lines. Because they're an oil, you would use, like Brie had said, like olive oil, or like normally like a thinner, or one of those brush pens. The clear blender brushes by Tombow will smooth these around really nice. I never knew what to use those for, and I have like a bunch of them, and you could pack them with your Polychromos pencils. So there you go. Just a simple little tutorial if you want to make a little birdie. And of course, they all turned out different. I have in one of my journals somewhere, like when Mindy had first done the little birdie, I made like a daddy or a mommy and two little babies like pecking down. So you can move the circles to have them, you know, facing any direction you want. So like you can do like a head here, a body here, let me get a triangle for a beak. You can hear Lila. She's not very happy with me. I banished her from the table. And the two little legs. And then of course this is the eyeball. Since he's looking down, change the position of the eye. And then you don't have to put that line if you don't want to. And then let's get a triangle for his tail. Let's give this one a little bit bigger of a tail. And see, if you wanted to, you could boop, boop, boop. And there you got, you know, a cute little tail. And then if you want to extend that a little, you can. So just a very simple little tutorial on, you know, some variations on just some very simple little circles and triangles. You know, no squares. Unless you were afraid of drawing two little lines, you could use a square stencil and just draw the legs. If you wanted to, you could put little feetsies like them, like he has, or just the little stumps of a leg. Whatever you want to do, have fun with that. And if you do this, you know, share it on Instagram. Tag me in it, Planning with John, and so we can all see your cute little birdies, because I will do that with mine. So if you have any questions, please leave a comment down below, and I will get back with you as soon as I can. Thanks so much for watching. Have fun.